RingVille episode PJ Savage. Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Kevin Herrera Sanchez, KHS, and today I'm here with the Titan World Champion, PJ Savage. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me.
No,
on.
absolutely,
it's a pleasure
absolutely.
to be on the platform. Appreciate
Of course. So one of the things like that instantly stood out to me about you, right, was you're a family man, right?
Yeah.
And growing up, was your family a wrestling family?
Yeah. It started with my grandmother. Mm-hmm. My grandmother was like heavy into it. Like I was 3 years old watching AAA on the weekends, and my uncles were into it. They would go to Madison Square Garden and tape trade. Like they would get the old ECW Japanese tapes. They would take me down with them. So like I was a part of the marks where I was like 4 or 5 years old.
You were just in the area, just like wrestling all around it.
It was just all the time from the old tapes. Like my uncle had this wall in his room that was like at least 300 just wrestling shows.
Whoa.
And whenever I got bored as a kid, I wouldn't watch cartoons. I would pop in a wrestling tape.
Okay.
Yeah. So and my first ever event was WrestleMania 10. I was only
MSG, right?
Yeah.
That was with Sean and Razor.
Yeah, the ladder match. And then Brett, Yoko, and then Brett and Owen
Hart. Yeah.
So
that had that great finish where it's Brett's holding up the title and then Owen is
he's standing on the outside.
Right.
Yeah,
Where were you seated?
Man, I was all the way up in the nosebleeds, bro. Matter of fact, I was pretty close to the spot. There's this place in MSG where Macho Man, I remember this so vividly.
Yeah.
Macho Man and Crush, they went in. I was kind of like a couple rows above that.
Oh, that's cool. That's
fire. So it was cool, man. And that was my first ever wrestling event.
Like a WrestleMania.
Yeah, that was my first ever one. I went to the Fan Fest. I went to all of it. I was 4 years old, so I was like, I guess they did that for me. So.
Right. Oh, that must have been insane to experience.
Yeah, man. I only really remember bits and parts of it, but like the Macho Man, the Sean jumping off the ladder, and then Brett winning the belt. Like that was it for me.
So when you left that show, did some part of you maybe know, was like, oh, this is something that I want to be a part of?
Yeah, I wanted to be Brett. I wanted to be Bret Hart. Like, that was it. I wanted seeing all the wrestlers come out, raise them up on their shoulders, Lex Luger, all these guys, and it was like, I want to be that. So definitely, that was a big impact.
That was like the big, like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, 100%.
And I asked about you being a family man, right? Because it's like, I saw a video on your social media that was really touching and just impactful. Of like, you made your entrance, and you had your 3-year-old son,
Lucas,
come out with you.
Yeah,
right. Was that planned, or was that something that you were just like, yo, come with me?
So Lucas, he's my wild card. He's one of 4. He's the youngest, but he's definitely Lucas Savage. He's 100%. He's in it. He's doing backflips. He's in it. But he always asks us to get into the ring. In the ring? He wants to fight. Like, he wants to, Dad, can I go in? I'll be a tag team partner. Like, no, you can't do that. So this day, it was wrestling is now with the SAT and the Maximos. And it's a very family-oriented roster. And everything in there is kind of family with Joel. And so it was a perfect spot just to bring Lucas out with me. And it was crazy because the match got changed. So I got on earlier. I couldn't even communicate to Lucas and my wife to tell him to come. I got behind the curtain. I just waved my hand. You see my hand. I'm like, yeah, come. He runs, and he was ready, bro. He had
I saw the video. He looked ready to get in that ring.
Little pit bull. I had to pull him back. I yanked him. I was like, come on, bro. You got to hit that pose. You got to hit the pose.
Hey, yo, don't miss your mark.
Miss your cues, man. Nah, but he's awesome, bro. Like, one of the biggest influences for me was Cody Rhodes' theme song. And this is before it became popular. It's like back in 2016. I had a really big match. And I kept listening to his theme song, There's More Than One Warrior Family. And that's my mark. I want to leave the next generation.
You want to be part of that, like, my family is part of that.
Exactly, because why not? There's the Guerreros, the McMahons, the Rose. There's all these amazing families, the bloodline. There's so much. I want my family to stand on their own 2 feet because you live forever. You know
no,
what
absolutely.
Yeah, they still talk about High Chief Peter Maivia. And
like,
come on, bro.
It's like look at the Rhodes. Like, his fingerprints are all over NXT.
Exactly,
like,
man.
Like,
all over the business, bro. All over the business.
Legit, yeah. It's like, but that's something I can see happening for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And then no one even knows. So like, I have my oldest daughter who's 14, who's already like
training.
She's somewhat in it. She knows some of the holes. She hangs out with me, and when she turns 16, she's fully gonna start training into it. As of right now, I'm not forcing her into
Right,
it, but
it's
if she
more-
wants to,
yeah.
and she's already my height. She's 14. She's like my little Charlotte Fair.
Oh,
Yeah, it's insane.
She's gonna be towering over.
Yeah,
her, right?
it's insane. It's
big
insane.
boots like nothing.
It's insane. Yeah, man. So it's pretty cool. So hopefully they all follow and the legacy grows strong, man.
Yeah, that'll be a beautiful thing for sure.
Yeah.
Like, what's it like being, like such a family man and having like 4 kids, right? And also trying to keep up with your like independent wrestling career.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you got to balance it. You got to want to do it. You got to want to, like, when I get to a bigger company like a WWE, AEW, New Japan, I want to be that guy that they send to Saudi Arabia Saturday, and then I'm back on the jet doing a live show on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I'm doing Good Morning America some random radio show 6 in the morning on Monday.
Yeah.
I want to be that guy.
Right.
So it's like that being instilled in me. It helps me on the independent circuit because I'll do every podcast there is. I'll do every interview there is. I'll do you need a commercial for your promotion? You already got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
like
it's
the face of, essentially, like, if you think of PJ Savage, you think of this promotion.
Yes, yeah, but then also I also have my own branding because I want PJ Savage to be a brand.
Right.
So like PJ Savage comes with the sirens. You know the logo's coming out. So like there's different things that I want to have known that I am a brand.
Right.
So when you get me, your promotion gets elevated, but also I work with the brand and help the brand grow. But it is tough juggling the family life. I'm blessed to have a wife who we all have an understanding in the house that wrestling's first.
Okay.
So I'm very lucky on that side where it's like we all have one goal. I remember back in 2019, right before the pandemic hit, I was working an amazing job, getting paid almost $100K a year. Nice. Amazing. Yeah. And things fell through the crack. I got in trouble with one of the guys, and I ended up quitting because he ended up bringing Lucas into vein. So I was like, I'm quitting. I'm going to find another job. And as I'm looking for work, my wife comes up to me. She's like, no, it's time for you to focus. Yeah. Just put everything into independent wrestling.
So she was the one to like push you into like full time.
Yeah, I'm still trying to look for like remote work and stuff like that. She doesn't let me. She does not let. This is like a shoot. Like she will not let me work. And it's like, okay, I get it, but I want some income. So now, like, there's a whole bunch of other things I do that no one knows. Like, I make theme music for guys.
Oh, really?
I do graphic design for some promotions. I do so much work behind the scenes that a lot of people don't even know. Yeah. That's how I keep my living going.
Right. Yeah, because I was like, one of the things I wanted to ask you was like your logo, right? You're like one of the, like, not one of the few, right? But it's like you instantly stood out because you have your own like merch as well, and like you designed it yourself.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. What was the process like of that?
So the process behind the merch, I just wanted something. It always started with the logo.
Okay.
Michael Jordan. I wanted a brand.
Yeah.
I wanted something that everybody saw and was like, that's PJ Savage. And I'm a big boy. I'm a little heavy set. Okay. Especially after the pandemic. I gained like, I went up to 300 pounds after the pandemic. I weighed 220 before the pandemic. Oh, okay. A lot of people don't know. I was supposed to get a tryout with a really big company. I've said this at some promotions. March 16th of 2020, the pandemic hit March 13th. Oof. Like 3 days before the tryout. And then after that, I went like blank, like no communication. Yeah. So I definitely went into some type of like depression and anxiety. It went through a whole bunch of stuff and gained a shit ton of weight and then hit the independence where it was like in my mind, it was like, I'm not even going to hit the indies. I'm going to go from training straight to a big company. And it was like a punch in the face. Like, you gotta wake up to reality. Yeah.
And that's like, you mentioned, you talked about just like how it's like it just stopped and just, like depression was in there. It's like how long did it take you to like bounce back?
Man, honestly, was when I started to get into, so it was like 6 months into 2020, and I was like, okay, well, wrestling's gonna pick back up. It started to pick back up a little bit. Yeah. And then that's when I got into designing the logos and everything, and reaching out to my boy Jesse LeBoom, best graphic designer out there. Shout out to Jesse. He's behind all my work. I come up with it mentally, but he's the one that puts it out. Like he creates it. And so I was sending Jesse so many things. I was annoying the crap out of him. Like he sent me back 400 designs one day. Like it was just, and I'm just combing through everything because I'm so meticulous with things.
No, it's like it was like, oh, I like this, but I like this more from this one. Let's take that and let's add it with this. Right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Let's shift the colors a little bit.
Yep. Make it look like this. Make it look like that. And that's when the logo got born. And then from the logo, it was like, okay, well, what's the branding of PJ Savage? And in my mind, I always had this one line in my head of like, Chicago has CM Punk.
Right.
Montreal has Sami Zayn. When those two guys walk out in those respective places,
it's nothing could touch.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I want to be that for New York City.
Nice.
So it's like I want to put New York on my back,
Right.
but in no disrespect to the kings of New York, like the Homicides, the Santanas, the Eddie Kingstons, where it's like when you walk into these big companies, we almost got to look like thugs to represent New York City. Yeah. That's why I was like, no, I want to wear the gear. I want to wear the gear. Originally, I wanted to wear Tim's, Adidas pants. You see that later on come out in the Indies?
Yeah, you know, because you got to throw some New York in there, you know?
Yeah, I came out with the 8-ball jacket one show. Like, it's like I tap into it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to know where I'm coming from. So a lot of the designs was like the nitty, the gritty, like the new logo that's being released next week. When that comes out, it's like when it comes out on merch officially. Okay. That's like the new step where it's like it looks more beat up than the clean logo.
Oh, okay.
So it's like it's really showing I've been through that wear and tear, but I'm stronger and I'm bigger. Hence the logo. And then like I don't know if you notice it. So if you take out the effing, this is the second incarnation of the logo. It's really just the Batman logo. I love the Batman logo. It started out as a dragon skull. Okay. And then I took off the horns and I'm like, Jesse, this looks like the Batman logo if we fix it. So it's the Batman logo on my chest. So I could appeal to kids.
I see it.
Yeah,
I see it.
So it's like I get those kids, and I use my kids a lot to judge wrestling. Yeah. Like, what is it that they're liking on the program? I watch everything with them. Every program that they watch. Lucas watches New Japan with me.
Nice.
I want. He
wakes up at like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah, bro. He'll stay up with me, and then, or if not, we'll miss it and watch it in the morning for breakfast, and he'll just sit there and watch the whole thing.
New Japan shows are long.
Oh, they're long, bro. They're long, but. We have fun, and I gauge him. I even use my wife. Like, did that stick out to you? So I kind of use them for the casual fan perspective. Absolutely. So I could put that into my game.
No, it's like the minute I like met you, saw you downstairs, I instantly recognized your logo. I was like, oh, he's wearing his own merch.
Yeah,
it's like, of
course, it's branding, bro. You gotta put the branding.
Absolutely, absolutely. You talked about your WWE tryout, right? Yeah. Like I was hearing you talk somewhere else where you said one of your goals was to get signed by WWE, right? And then break John Cena's record for Make-A-Wish. Yeah. And right now he's currently at 650.
I'm gonna break it.
You're gonna break it.
And it's not, and it sounds so weird because like I don't want. First, I wouldn't even want that out there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
my fault.
No. It's not. It's not. Because I already said it. But I remember when I said it, it was like, well, I'm not doing it just to break his record. Right. You know, like this isn't something I want to do to be like, I want to beat John Cena's record. Yeah. No, I want to give back to kids. Right. I want to do stuff for the kids in need and even the grown people. Like when I get signed, I want to put a whole plan in place for New York City and other states across the United States of helping the homeless out. Yeah. Like there's a lot of give back that I want to do. There's so many opportunities that I wasn't afforded. I want to make sure other people are. Yeah. And then when it comes to the kids in needs, like kids that are sick, like I just did a show for Titan. That all the proceeds went to Shriners Children's Hospital. Nice. And that means everything to me. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm into. And I do want to break John Cena's record selfishly because I want to do that much.
Help as
That's
much
how much I want to give back. Yeah. It's not about Cena and the record, even though like that's what I'm aiming for, you know what I'm saying?
But it's more about like the representation of like what that number or just like how many he does actually means. It's like this is how many people he's impacted, he has helped. And like even influence. Yeah, exactly. That's what you're going.
And it's him sacrificing his own time. Like Cena's a huge influence to me. I admit it. I hated Cena. Yeah. I was one of those guys. That's why I was a CM Punk guy. I didn't like him. I hated the character.
After a certain age, you're like, wait a minute.
Like, I get it now. You know what I'm saying? Like I get what you do for the business. And if it wasn't for Cena, this business probably wouldn't be here and be what it is today. Yeah. Him learning Chinese and Mandarin
it's
just
insane.
To expand the market to China, those are things that I want to focus on. And I'm learning Japanese. I'm learning all these other things to make sure I go in the right direction when it comes to branding and helping.
It's like you legit be like the face of a company to like be out there and start forming relationships. Yeah, right. Yeah. Like you mentioned Titan Wrestling, and you are their world champion. Yeah. Right. What kind of what does it feel like to hear somebody in the promotions, hey, look, we're going to go with you. You're going to be our champion. What does that do for you?
I always go back to what Stone Cold said, where it's like, if you're not here to be the best, then what are you doing here? So, like, that's why I want to do all these things. I want to be the guy that's at 6 a.m. radio shows because I want to be the face of the company.
Right.
I'm not doing this to be just another guy. I said it one time, like, yeah, there's a Mount Rushmore. I want to put my face on the middle of the Mount Rushmore. Whatever your Mount Rushmore is, let's add a fifth guy and put me on the middle. I want to be definitive number one. Like, that's my goal in this business. So when a company goes, oh, we're going to put our strap on you, we're going to do this, I take a lot of pride in it. But also I'm trained by Johnny Rods, and he gave me one of the best pieces of advice I've ever got, which is when that championship is on your shoulders or around your waist, it means nothing. Absolutely nothing. But to those guys that want that belt, it means everything. It means everything. So basically that just tells you I have to not let this go to my head.
Right.
I have to carry this, but also I'm not marking out.
Yeah.
I'm not letting my head get big and, do certain things.
Right.
It's business as usual, and I have to keep acting as if I don't have the belt. So that's
keep
what
that
keeps
hunger,
me going.
like keep that drive.
Because at the end of the day, my biggest goal besides the Hall of Fame is winning the WWE Championship in Yankee Stadium at a
Yankee
WrestleMania.
Stadium. And, I've always thought about, like, what if they do a show in Yankee Stadium, right? Because I think it was Royal Rumble 2019. They did the show in a baseball stadium, and it looked great.
It looked amazing.
It
was
that,
used to do them.
Yeah, right. They had the angled,
slouching,
like walk aisles, so it's like, they should do more shows, and it's like, yo, Yankee Stadium, come on.
Man.
Like,
I want to win that championship in Yankee Stadium at a WrestleMania. Do a WrestleMania at Yankee Stadium so I could clap that always a Yankee sign right before I go
big
out
Yankee
there.
fan, right?
Huge Yankee. There's a lot of Derek Jeter in me from a kid. I always wanted to be shortstop for the Yankees because I grew up watching Jeter. But also the whole, like, I feel like I don't let myself enjoy the ride because of him. Where it's like, he never enjoyed it.
He was more just focused on, like,
it's like, all right, he broke Lou Gehrig's record, and he's like, we're down by 2. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's a lot of me. That there's a lot of me that operates like that, where it's like the biggest goal for me is the Hall of Fame. So anything that comes my way, it's like, okay, this is just a little step to get towards that goal.
Right. That's Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I want the Hall of Fame.
You want the Hall of Fame.
I want the Hall of Fame. That's the end all be all, man.
Yeah, like, so what kind of pressure does that bring? Like, even other like a promotion giving you the world champ, right? Or even just you telling yourself, like, okay, I want to be in a Hall of Fame. I have to do this, this, and this. It's like maybe not in a specific order, but just pushing yourself. Like, does that ever bring too much pressure on yourself?
Yeah, but I feel like it's helping me because I'm operating under a lot of pressure. I'm putting mounds of pressure on top of my shoulders, providing for my family, wanting to buy a house, wanting to buy cars and do all this stuff to make sure I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this for legacy, to be remembered, and so my family's set up, But the pressure that comes with all of that, I think it actually helps me because I don't get nervous doing this. Like, I don't get nervous before I walk through a curtain because, like, my eyes are set on goals and things that are so much higher that it's like, this is nothing. This is nothing. I can walk out to an arena of 500 people. I want to walk out to 100,000. Yeah. So it's like, I'm not going to let this shake me, the pressure. So it actually helps with all that pressure on me, but then there's a lot of disappointment that you just need to learn how to cope with. I wanted to be at WrestleMania last year. I wanted to do this. I had certain goals for myself that I still haven't even got to yet, where I got to still work on myself. So it's like, you got to deal with the setbacks of having such high goals.
Right. Yeah, because there's always going to be setbacks, regardless of what it is. Like nobody was able to predict the pandemic.
Yeah,
right?
No.
And like you said, 3 days before your tryout.
Yeah, and I was cooking, man. I was cooking. I was in the best shape of my life. I just wrestled like a whole bunch of like names. Yeah. And there was people actually looking at me and talking to me, and it was like, okay, I might be able to do this. Right. And then boom, it just
over.
Pulled away.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about, because you've been in the ring with people like Shane Taylor, right? Bobby Lashley. Yeah. Mike Santana.
Well, me and Santana haven't faced off yet. There's just a lot of beef there.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a lot of beef there.
That's what it is. So it's like, what was it like, just being in the ring, or it's like, hey, you're gonna be facing them?
The Lashley match was 7 months into my journey. I started training 7 months right before that match.
That's insane.
That was a lot of pressure. So I guess I've been through those moments, but I remember the CM Punk documentary where he was like, he faced Eddie Guerrero when he got fired. And that was his measuring stick moment. So I was like, all right, that's what this is going to be for me when I face Lashley. And it was a measuring stick moment of like, I got all the confidence in the world after. I can hang with Bobby Lashley. I could go toe to toe. We went face to face, and I got a Savage is gonna kill you chant. I was set. You know what I'm saying? I was set. So then after that, I faced guys like Pagano, Willie Mack, La Parka, so many names, bro. Chris Dickinson, Homicide. I've been in the ring with a lot of guys, so it's like going back to Lashley. It was all the confidence comes from there.
Yeah. And does that like give you reassurance? And just kind of like made you think like, oh, whatever I'm doing is working.
Yeah. Especially when companies trust you enough to put you in those big positions. Like those guys they're not cheap.
Yeah.
For these independent promotions, like, you know what I'm saying? This isn't WWE where like everybody's on a set contract, everything's agreed upon. No, like this is like you're coming in and who are you gonna face? Well, I want to face the best guy in that promotion. Right. And then that company goes, okay, we're gonna tip the hat towards you. Like I remember. I was going to face Chris Dickinson, and this is before all the crappy stuff came out. But Chris Dickinson was like a measuring stick for a lot of people. Right. And then he was going strong in New Japan Strong. And it was like, I'm a big fan of New Japan. I've studied it countless times. So it was like, that was a really big moment for me of going, I want to see if I have that fighting spirit style. And I remember there was a moment where we were going blow for blow, blow for blow. Sweat's going everywhere. And I was like, I'm in it, brother. Nice. I'm in it. Like it was a real feel-good moment. That was a moment where it was like, I can do this. I can wrestle New Japan style, AEW style, WWE style. I can flip because of the training I received. Right.
So what are some of your goals for this year?
Man, again, so I really don't operate on the mini goals. I operate more on the bigger goals. Right. So, like, even year to year, my goals are Hall of Fame, WrestleMania, Yankee Stadium, becoming world champion in all these promotions. So, it's like, if I were to choose some miniature goals, it was, like, one of my goals for this year that I set was wrestle 200 times.
Wrestle 200 times?
In just 1 year. Yeah, last year I think I hit, it was like 117, 118. Okay. So it's like doubling that schedule, which is something I want to do. So, I mean, it's less time with the family. It's
sacrifices that have to be made. Yeah. But it seems like you have a really supportive partner who's just like, yo, go do it.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And then I have to really get in shape. I have to take care of my body, eat the right things. I'm doing yoga now, which is like, it's just doing so many things.
DDP yoga?
No, just regular yoga, just to make sure my joints are good, man.
No, I feel you. Sometimes you pick something up and it's like, my knee hurt. Like
everything hurt, and that's the thing. I remember when I first went to go train, I used to put on wrist tape to look cool. Yeah. And now I wear wrist tape and knee pads because I have to. These things hurt, bro.
Well, thank you very much for joining me. Like, it was truly a pleasure sitting down and talking to you. Awesome. Please check out his merch, right? Everything will be in the description below. And all right, we'll talk to you later. Thank you.